A lethal finish down in Death Valley has the Orange trying to revive itself this week against the Pitt Panthers. Tyler Rocky alongside Jenna, Fink, and Gill Gross for a webisode edition of Cuse Countdown. Now guys, Syracuse played Clemson tough for about 59 minutes. That final minute though was a bit of a letdown for a lot of Syracuse fans hoping for that big marquee win this season. But aside from that, what did you learn about this team over the weekend?
Similar to what you said, Tyler, I think that Syracuse team lost steam. They really lost momentum totally in the second half. They only scored once and were completely shut out in the fourth quarter. They also had several sloppy plays. Dungy had his interception in the third quarter, and also they had several short drives. They had a couple of 3-and-outs, a couple of 4-play drives. It seems like the team really gets tired, which is kind of typical of Syracuse.
Exactly. You said it. They did lose steam, Jenna, but the thing is, we've seen this movie before. So my takeaway was, even though this is a better Syracuse team than we've seen in Dino Babers' first 2 years, it's still the same Syracuse team. This was an old pattern. We saw this with Cam Akers at FSU, Nyheim Hines, NC State. Louisville averaged 10 yards per carry. This team goes on the road, they get tired, and they get ran on.
Now, with the Syracuse team, again, this was a team that was very good defensively, very good at running the ball for the entire season so far. We didn't see a lot of that against Clemson. What does Syracuse have to do this week against Pitt to get over that hump?
Well, they can't dwell in the past. Of course, they had a disappointing loss. The win probably would have put them in the top 25. But this isn't the end-all, be-all. Syracuse needs to really regroup. They need to learn from their mistakes, and they need to move forward. We know that they have several emotional games. We saw what happened last year with Clemson with that emotional game. They didn't win a game after that. So it really comes down to the mentality. Football is an extremely mental game, almost as much as it is physical. Syracuse has the physical ability to beat Pitt. Now they need to show that they have the mental toughness to go along with it.
I think they're going to be pretty good mentally. I think it's more what Tyler said. They need to get back to running the ball. And honestly, it comes back to the fatigue factor. If you can run the ball successfully, even with the tempo offense, you can keep your defense off the field. So Syracuse's best chance of not repeating its mistakes, not gassing out, is getting Mo Neal back involved. He's been way better this year than we've seen him in his first 2 years as an Orange.
And just to tie both of your points together, people do say fatigue can be mental, so it's something to look out for this week. Anyway, I'll start with you, Gill. What is your prediction for this week?
I have Syracuse winning, and you know what? I almost wanted to pick Pitt, but I think it's early enough in the season where Syracuse can take a punch and rebound from it. In the past, 2 years ago, the Clemson 54-0 loss, to name one. Miami last year. Syracuse takes a body blow, and they don't recover. But I think this is sort of like the LSU game. It's so early in the season that physically, mentally, I'm not concerned. And Pitt's a mediocre football team. Syracuse is a better team, so I think they win 35-25.
I agree. I think Syracuse is going to come out, but I think it's going to be 38-31. Syracuse outperforms Pittsburgh in almost every aspect. They definitely win the quarterback battle. You have Eric Dungy, who has over 1,000 yards compared to Kenny Pickett, who only has over 700. Also, the defense allows fewer points and fewer yards per game on average. Plus, Syracuse has one of the best special teams unit out there. They have Andre Schmidt and Sean Riley at the forefront of that, of course. Now, I think it's going to be close just because of the history that they've had going down at Pitt, but I do think that SU is going to come away with the win.
Yeah, Syracuse, all three phases have been clicking, and so far it looks like they're going to move to 5-1 per our analysts and get their first win against the Panthers in Pitt since 2001. That's all the time we have here on this webisode edition of Cuse Countdown. For Jenna, Fink, and Gill Gross, I'm Tyler Rocky. Syracuse and Pitt coming up this week at 12:20. Enjoy the game.